passed.
Which is insane, you know. And Mandalorian was supposed to be a movie at first. Because if you think about it, each episode is like 30-something minutes. So it's like around 4 hours long.
Yeah.
And it actually does work out like what you're saying as a show because they don't have to worry about cutting out things. They don't have to worry about shrinking the story. Now it's like they can just tell it how they want to tell it over 4 hours rather than in a theater 2 hours and 20 minutes. That's a lot.
It's a lot to cut out.
And I'm loving the show, by the way.
Yeah, me too. I love it.
It's great.
I think
I've been tuned in every episode.
What's your stance? This is a controversial one that we always talk about. Okay, because before I know we're gonna jump conversation here. Star Wars. Are you a Star Wars fan?
I am a Star Wars. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. More so from a. Here's my admiration of Star Wars, and it started long ago. Is it's not based off of a book or comic, like
it's kind of like talk about Avatar. I think Avatar is like James Cameron's Star Wars.
Yeah.
He's making 4 more movies.
Yeah.
It shows he's taking too long to me.
He's taking a little long, but they're gonna come out.
But
back
for
to
them
back.
to do 4, 5, and 6, when they did it, and then to do 1, 2, and 3, and it all seamlessly connect.
Amazing.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And then to have all these like little bits and
This
and
family.
stuff like
He
that.
says it's like a family operatic drama. You know, it's like
it really.
And that's why these new movies, we talk about this so much, it's been upsetting us. You know, Mandalorian's a great return to form, I think.
But the new movies, you're right. They do lack something. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but they do lack something. Rogue One was awesome.
Yeah, I love Rogue One.
That iconic Darth Vader scene.
Yeah, it's just...
Reshoot, by the way. That was a
Yeah,
reshoot.
reshoot.
Wasn't in the original.
Really?
Yeah.
It's just Last Jedi really burned a hole in my heart for Star Wars.
Well, you know about the controversy with Last Jedi, right?
No, I didn't.
Oh man.
Yeah.
If you go on
I
Twitter
did
right
not.
now and just search Star Wars,
Yeah.
Last Jedi, the division, it's like it's
Really?
it's like it's like 2 completely different sides just bashing it because you have the people who love Last Jedi for the most part. What I've seen in online and people I've heard talk, it's like they love the idea of forget the past. Who needs the Skywalkers, right? Anybody, but it's like, and then you have the other side that is like, you are forgetting that this is like what you were saying, a one flush storyline about the Skywalker family, the Skywalker saga.
Yeah.
You can't just forget that. You can do it in a spin-off like Rogue One. Love Rogue One. Mandalorian, another spin-off. Love it. Great. But you can't just come in and just be like, forget this and just trash a legacy.
Yeah.
Because
That's true.
this camera does it every 30 minutes or so.
That's my Sony does it also. So
Yeah, I tried delaying it, but the max it goes is 30 minutes.
30.
Anyway, so Force Awakens, I think it did well. There was there's a lot. We can go off about this, but I'll try to make it brief.
Yeah.
George Lucas had an outline for his next trilogy, and it was gonna cap off like what you liked about the prequels, right? It all connected, and then it all just made that. So he had this thing. He was gonna cap off all 9 films. It was gonna complete the Skywalker saga, and he was gonna get into more of the midichlorians and the Force and the wills. They're called wills because they're basically the Force itself. They're like gods.
Yeah.
So you know how every Star Wars movie says a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away? It was going to explain that because we are watching this Skywalker saga through their perspective. So this new trilogy that he had was going to go into that.
Yeah.
And he had an outline and he gave it to Disney. And
Disney
was like, here's our idea. And then he was insulted. He was like, he said it like, there's nothing new in this.
Yeah.
There's no... And that's one thing that we were just watching recently, Revenge of the Sith, the third prequel.
Yeah.
One thing that you got to give to the prequels, it's completely different, and it could be for worse sometimes.
I love the prequels personally.
People bash the dialogue could be a little cheesy, but the world
really like it.
But the world building, it's completely different, and he gave us a bunch of new epic memories of Star Wars in a whole different way. Because you watch the originals and you watch the prequels. It's like 2 different things. They connect, but you're expanding that world of Star Wars, And new memories.
You're exactly right. And to that point, I haven't really noticed a new memory in these last 2 films.
Don't they feel like some alternate nightmare?
Yeah.
Of I like Force Awakens. Don't get me wrong.
And I'm like, I guess I've never really given it much thought in the last 2, like to the extent of like people being like, yo, this isn't it. But more you think about it, you're like, they really have not done much with what they could have been doing, you know, with the new movies, and which is might be why I like Rogue One so much, is because my favorite moment in these new Star Wars is that Darth Vader scene.
Yeah,
Amazing.
Because it's the most recent Darth Vader that we've gotten, aside from obviously 4, 5, and 6, whenever it happened.
Yeah.
Long time ago, which literally feels like a long time
Yeah,
ago, you know?
yeah.
And then you had 1, 2, and 3, which was like the beginning of Darth Vader, but then after that we never really got a savage Darth Vader.
Which we saw through. How epic is that moment, right? When he starts rising up as Darth Vader, or when Yoda's fighting Palpatine.
Yes.
These are moments that it's George Lucas trying something different, telling you a story. Because that's what the first things first. He has great stories. And you're getting new memories within Star Wars.
Yep.
He wasn't just trying to copy the originals.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening with these new ones. And
I'd actually be interesting to see how they cap off this 9 movies.
terrible.
How they gonna
No,
Because,
I have
like-
no faith in the movie.
Force Awakens.
because
was
how are they
good.
gonna end it? Like they
Yeah.
really have no like.
Too
There's
much
no
damage.
direction that is going. Like there is, but there isn't. You know.
Yeah,
like,
they're lost.
You
they're
know,
lost.
Like the first 2 movies, nothing happened.
Yeah.
And then now it's
Like
over.
where are we going?
And
type
now it's
thing.
like, guess what? Palpatine's back. We got to end the story.
We're gonna.
And J.J.
Yeah.
Abrams is like, oh, but not just for this trilogy, because that's what people are forgetting about.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, oh yeah, just forget the past. Like, I love
Start
this
anew,
new trilogy.
yeah.
But J.J. Abrams is like, we have to. This is the Skywalker saga. We have to finish. Needs to complete all 9 films.
Yeah.
It needs to be wrapped up,
Yeah.
tied into a bow very nicely.
Yeah.
People seem to forget that, and that's
Yeah.
what I think. That's what made Last Jedi so controversial and so divided, because there's literally if you remember the movie, a scene where the whole movie, what is Kylo Ren preaching? Forget the past, let it die.
Breaks that, like
Forget the
fourth wall.
past.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can't, like, we bash on Rian Johnson, the director. We bash on him all the time. He's like, who do you think you are coming in here and
Doing
no respect?
Yeah.
And there's so many subliminal.
It's like messages to the
Messages.
audience.
Yeah.
The opening scene with Luke Skywalker, what does he do with the lightsaber? How disrespectful is that? Think about it.
That's
You know?
why-
You don't really. I didn't really notice it because I guess I just went in and saw it, and I didn't really see that one again. But yeah, but if I had seen it,
Exactly
I had
my point.
seen it again.
Thank you.
Dude, you understand? I was so excited for this movie.
No, the hype level.
I was like end game level for this movie.
Yeah.
I see on Twitter,
Yeah.
no trailers. Please be good.
Yeah.
Sat in that theater 40 minutes in. I was like, fuck me, this movie sucks.
Fuck.
And
Yeah,
then-
man.
I
when the-
believe you, bro.
Dude, and when the movie ended, I was walking out.
What
Like,
the? We were like, what
I
just
was
happened?
Like, this did not happen, right? Like, I didn't just watch a bad Star Wars film.
Wow.
And I was like, I was so hurt. I was like, dude, I was like, you know what? Fuck Rian Johnson for what he did.
No,
to Star
because
Wars.
it's
Like,
because Force Awakens,
ugh.
it was a good movie.
I've seen that movie a couple times.
Yeah,
I've seen that
Force
movie.
Awakens.
Force Awakens, it's good, but it needed Last Jedi to be even better.
Yeah, it needed
Yeah.
something to like flow the.
Yeah.
Because how much did Force Awakens set up, right?
Yeah.
It set up a lot.
Set up a lot.
Rey gets that lightsaber.
Set up a lot.
How did you get this lightsaber? That's for another time.
Yeah.
We lost Han Solo. Like it was a
It
lot
sets
of
up,
like.
it sets up a lot.
Yeah.
And then the
Netflix
thing
has recommended me Last Jedi so many times, and I've
don't
never
listen,
clicked on
don't
it.
listen to Netflix.
Never
Don't listen to
clicked on
Netflix.
it.
Dude, and the
Because
movie's long. Last
Yeah.
Jedi is a long
Yeah.
movie.
and it progresses the story in no way. And you've only seen it once, right?
Yeah.
So
Thank God.
this is like I'm gonna give you this little feedback.
Uh-huh.
And when you can, watch it again. As a
Okay.
Star Wars fan, like what you were saying
Yeah.
about the prequels and
Yeah.
the original, how that think of that. Think of the characters,
Yes.
right? Last Jedi. Everything that Force Awakens sets up, when, and it's not even just, it's like literally in the movie and also like subliminally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How Force Awakens, when it ended, how epic was that moment when she's giving him the lightsaber and he's looking at her like
Yeah.
like he
whoa.
was up to something, like he knew, he felt
He
something.
was turned on.
He was yeah. Last Jedi, he's like
It's,
that's already one
literally indicates
Yeah.
what's
big,
gonna
like
happen.
that's
yeah.
one big fuck you
Yeah.
to the audience, like
Yeah.
what you think is gonna happen, because because Rian Johnson, he's known for subverting expectations. That's like his thing.
That's why I'm
Yeah.
not watching Knives Out.
Yeah. So
Oh, you're not.
No,
I've heard
We're
great
very
things
hurt.
about it though.
No, dude,
We're very
I
hurt,
don't-
man.
I don't support his movies no more.
Really?
Like, I'm done
Because
with that guy.
Because
I'm
of
gonna tell you
Star
why.
I'm
I'm gonna tell you why, because
Tell 'em why.
everybody that we've had on, and
Right.
I'm like our listeners
Sorry
are
again for bashing Last Jedi.
our consistent listeners must laugh at us, because
Or just hate
anytime
us.
we get somebody new
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, but why do you hate Last Jedi so much? And we're just like, I'm going to explain something to you. And then by the time I'm done, they're like, oh,
You're
shit.
right.
You're right.
I'm going to tell you why. And there's facts. What I'm about to tell you is straight facts. So I'm going to start with the little things, the lightsabers, the little subliminal jabs at not just The Force Awakens that J.J. Abrams set up, and that's a hard task.
Yeah.
How many years since it's a sequel to the original trilogy, so that's 30 years later.
Yeah.
Classics, right? The reception for the prequels weren't so great. So Star Wars was kind of like, and now you're bringing it back. That's a stressful task. And he did it well.
Yeah.
He brought it back. He got the fans excited.
It has a few issues.
It has issues.
Number 4 on the top
Yeah.
grossing movie list.
Fans loved it. It made fans excited again. Does it redo some of the story plots but JJ did come out saying, I know what I did.
Yeah.
I just had to find a way to bring the fans back. To trust us with it. Fine. I respect that. But he did introduce new characters, and we like the characters in the new movie.
100%.
Fine. So I get it. And his plan was he had an outline, set it up safely, then go into new territory and let it do its thing. Now, Disney, Lucasfilm, gave Rian Johnson the next movie.
Oh, great.
He wrote it by himself, by the way. Nobody else.
Already, red
This
flag
guy-
number 1.
Flag number one.
Flag number
This
1.
guy, you saw the opening scene.
Yeah.
That was the thing.
Yeah.
Luke, completely different character. You remember the original trilogy. How was Luke? Hopeful. No, there's good in my father.
Yeah.
I can help him.
Yes.
To, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
Oh, get away from me.
Yeah.
Oh, the Force is dead. Oh. Where's Han? Right? You remember Han Solo. And all he asks once to acknowledge, where's Han? They look at him, cuts away. Yeah, I know, that table moves. Cuts away, no mention of Han Solo again. At all. If you notice. That's why I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Rewatch it when you can.
Yeah.
After
I've noticed
I tell
all of
you.
these things.
Never mentioned again. So that's already like a disrespect to Han Solo, right? Rian Johnson came out. Actually, Mark Hamill himself. He's bashed on the movie.
Yeah.
You can go on YouTube right now and look up Mark Hamill.
I think I came across like the title of him saying something bad about Star Wars.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
And it's not clickbait.
It's real.
Look up Mark Hamill.
It's 30 minutes of him bashing on Rian Johnson and the movie.
Somebody made like a montage video of all the clips and there's a 30-minute video.
That's crazy.
Look up Mark Hamill bashing Last Jedi, and everything he says is like, oh, I mean, this is not Luke Skywalker. This is somebody else because Luke would never do this.
Yeah.
And he's fought with Rian Johnson throughout the set.
Yeah.
But Disney came in and was like, no, this needs to stop.
Yeah,
because they took Rian Johnson's side
over him.
Of course.
Which is this is the heart and soul stuff.
Really, really is. He's what my uncles and aunts went to go see when they talk about Star Wars.
Because it's crazy because Mark Hamill, George Lucas told him years ago when they did Empire or Return. George Lucas told me, hey, we're gonna do a sequel in 2012 or 2013.
He's like, I'll let you know.
Yeah, and then he's gonna write it, and he'll let you know.
So this guy had
That's
all these
crazy.
stories.
They were filming Empire, and he already planned.
He had that
long.
Yeah.
So for Mark Hamill, man, I had to that's be cool.
He had 20 years worth of stuff
plus,
ready.
Jeez.
He didn't really get to work with Carrie again, or Han, or Chewie. Never Carrie passed.
Yeah.
So he couldn't do scenes with them again. And now Han is dead. Carrie passed away. Now he dies.
And the fact that he kills Luke Skywalker at the end.
Him.
Yeah.
And for Mark Hamill, George Lucas probably told him his whole other idea.
Yeah, like this is where you're gonna be involved in as.
Yeah, like if he
because Luke was supposed to be training.
Yeah, training Ray. Like,
Ray.
He would have been the Rocky to the Creed. Like he would have been a part of like the I guess the coach or somebody who's not the main part of the film, but he's like an over like looking over the shoulder type thing.
Because the original idea was Luke training this character of Ray.
What was Akira?
Her name was gonna be Kira. J.J. Abrams. It was similar. It was similar. I think he just wanted to build it up to that moment, you know, and Luke was supposed to train her, and we kind of see that at the end of The Force Awakens. Last Jedi, he keeps him on the island. He's a grumpy old man. He doesn't care about anything. Han Solo died, doesn't care. It's his nephew. You would think he would try, there's good in him. And then what he does with Luke thinking about killing his nephew because he thought he was going to go bad.
Yeah.
That's such a...
When Darth Vader was evil and he managed...
To
These
become,
are already contradictions there. Then he kills him in the island. He never leaves the island.
That's crazy.
And then
crazy.
so it's like,
Never
and that's
thought
just the
about this.
fundamental movie.
Yeah.
But then behind the scenes, Mark Hamill was arguing with Ryan Johnson. He's like, hey, why? C-3PO, right? Of course, C-3PO. That scene when Luke comes in to talk to Leia, when he's like a hologram.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he says hi to Last Jedi.
Yeah.
When he says hi to C-3PO, when he's like, that was not in the script. Mark Hamill had to like push for that. He's like, hey, he told Ryan Johnson, hey, like, how are you gonna have me in this scene and not acknowledge C-3PO and R2? Was R2 dude? No, he wasn't in that scene.
No, it was only
It was C-3PO.
Yeah.
And he's like, how are you not gonna have me acknowledge C-3PO? And he had to tell him a couple of times while shooting. And this is fact. Like, there's articles and everything. And Ryan Johnson was like, yeah, whatever. Just do whatever you want.
Is he doing this movie that's coming out? No.
This JJ who did Force Awakens, he's coming back.
Oh shit.
And there's more.
So now it's like he's gotta like
fix
it up and then somehow
exactly.
end it.
You're getting me because now he has to fix this
Yeah.
up while ending it. That's a lot of work.
That's a lot of work.
That's 2 movies worth of stuff that he has to
Something
do.
that's crazy enough said it's already done. Like we're waiting to see what
2
he's
weeks away.
done already. Yeah,
2 weeks
that's
away.
crazy. I want to be in India when it comes out. Like I'm trying to figure out what theater to go to, what to see.
Find a way, man.
I'm gonna have to find a way.
I got 2 tickets for like the big IMAX theater in Fort Lauderdale.
Nice.
And then just
Nice.
the AMC.
Yeah.
For opening night.
Yeah.
So there's a lot, man. There's a lot. Ryan Johnson came out saying, that was one. And then Ryan Johnson came out talking about Empire Strikes Back. He's like, but I mean, I didn't like Empire Strikes Back when it first came out, but he was comparing his movie to Empire. It's like, dude, you don't
No.
Empire is
Yeah.
essentially one of the best Star Wars movies of all time.
No, it has one of the greatest moments in history of film.
Yeah.
Vader and
The I am your father
Yes,
moment.
I am your father. Yeah.
Like,
So there's a lot, man. I mean, Ryan Johnson. What was the other one? That with Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill was like, I fundamentally disagree with everything you're doing, and he was like,
he didn't care.
And then there's a video of Ryan Johnson. This is on YouTube. When he was younger, he was doing Brick. He was doing like other movies because I actually like his previous movies.
Like Brick and Looper.
Yeah, and he came out saying, my goal as a director, I don't like when everyone likes my movies. I like divisive movies. So his
movie was very divisive. If you're saying like it's causing backlash on Twitter and stuff like that. So.
And his previous movies, I guess, are known to be like that. So like his goal as which I find that strange because it's like, as a director, you want to make a good movie. That's your first intention.
That's
not,
the first,
how can I make this so that it
divisive
divides
to the public. Yeah.
Exactly. And if you look at Last Jedi, it's very divisive in what he did was intentional.
Mm-hmm. That's what he wanted to do.
Yeah. It's just too obvious.
Yeah.
Because one of the characters, he was like, I want to put characters in this that I know don't belong there. Like, they don't fit in, but I want to put them anyway. Yeah. And he was saying, look what he does with Luke. Look what he does with... Mark Hamill. There's another quote that Mark Hamill, they were telling him, there's a deleted scene where where Luke and Leia share a bond through the Force and they're mourning Han's death. Yeah. Which is actually a really nice scene. It's a shot. It's on YouTube. And Ryan Johnson took it out. And they asked him, why did you take it out? And he's like, pacing issues. It just wasn't going to fit in with the movie. And Mark Hamill...
That probably would have been one of the better scenes in the movie.
Exactly. But my theory is he took it out because he knows it contradicts with how his character is acting. Exactly. How are you going to have him mourning Han and then the next scene being like, no, get away from me. Yeah. No. And Mark Hamill came out saying like, we don't have time to mourn Han's death, but we have time for me to milk a cow's titty and me to drink it. He said that. He said that himself.
He has nothing to lose, I feel, because you literally killed him off.
He got screwed over. He got killed off. I feel like they told him one thing. With Force Awakens, it sets up everything. He was probably supposed to train her. And then he's filming this, and he's like, what? This is supposed to be my movie, and this is what you're doing?
What are you doing?
Exactly. And for him to say that, because you remember that scene, right, when he's milking it?
Yeah.
And he's like,
yeah.
And he was like, we have time for that, but not, it's so many things, man. When you go back and try to watch it whenever you can, you're going to notice it. Or just go on YouTube and look up Last Jedi. There's like what's the word I'm looking for? Like analysis videos, full on just breaking down the movie and why it like fundamentally like intentionally just breaks everything. Now, and like what you were saying, now JJ has to come back because it was a different director, Colin Trevorrow, who did Jurassic World. I don't know if you're a fan of those movies.
I like those movies.
He was supposed to do it, and he had different plans because he was following the outline of what JJ had done. But Luke died in 8.
Now he's
and he was like, no. And the rumor is that he went to Disney. He was like, no, look, like, I need him alive because it was gonna be him and Leia using the Force together, but then Carrie Fisher passed away, so he had to rewrite it. Yeah. And he's like, look, I need Luke alive.
Are they using CGI for her? Or are they also
actual footage?
Off? Oh.
But I think a little because in the trailer it looked like a body double.
Yeah, it looks like a body double, but what they're saying is that there's footage that they didn't use in Force Awakens that actually it was a lot of footage. And they were able to like
blend it with the story.
Use it with the story and like work around it.
Sounds good.
Write the script around it. So they're still honoring her acting, and they're not really just CGing her because they didn't want to do that. Yeah. So
I'm sure like if they do have a kill off scene, that scene is probably CGI. I would think.
Yeah, if they kill her off.
If they kill her off.
Yeah, I don't think they would.
You don't think they will? Okay.
I don't think so.
I feel like she'll like.
She's going to have, like, that impactful scene when she was alive that they filmed and they're working around it. I'm sure they use maybe body doubles to help the scene, like, fit. And I'm sure it's going to be, like, a really nice scene and then continue the movie. Yeah, and then continue the movie. Okay. Which, Last Jedi, the Mary Poppins, when she's floating in space.
Yeah, that scene just came back to me. No.
There's a lot. That's why we're rewatching, man, because...
Wow.
And then Colin Trevorrow followed J.J. Abrams' outline, and he was like, look, I need Luke alive to tell the story. And again, they sided with Rian Johnson. They fired him. He got fired. Colin Trevorrow. And then Last Jedi came out. People were like going crazy. J.J. Abrams came back with a story. Now he has to fix it.
And then somehow end it on a high note. Yeah.
So it's a mess, man. Even the actors have come out talking about it. They're like, oh yeah, there was like an outline that JJ did. Like everybody's just kind of like
Disney in a sense.
Yeah, everybody's like, yeah, like.
That's the problem with Disney, man. Like, because I don't know, I feel like Disney, they just step in and they ruin things.
I think they learned their lesson now, though.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's what happened with Endgame. I feel like they stepped in and made them. I feel like the movie was too happy.
Yeah.
The movie was so, man, why is the movie so soft? We just came off Infinity War. This movie, it's just jokes for the good 2 hours.
Yeah, it
like
was
maybe they backtracked a little bit.
Yeah, it was.
And it was, man, like, because...
It was very light. Like, it was a light movie compared to Infinity War.
When they killed Thanos, awesome, dark, okay, I want more of that. I was like, wow, this is just comedy. Final battle was sloppy. It was like a lot of like bad like CG.
A lot of reshoots, though. There's a lot of reshoots in that
movie. And Thanos, they kind of like, I wanted more Thanos in the movie. And
is that how you say it, by the way?
I think so. I hear Thanos. I hear Thanos.
I said because I've been calling him Thanos this whole time.
I hear both. I can't. I don't know.
It's like GIF or GIF.
GIF,
yeah. You know how everybody.
Yeah. So
tomatoes. Tomatoes.
But that's the problem with Disney. They just let them work. Just let them do what they want. And because Endgame, man, it was like soft. Jesus.
Yeah, I think
it's coming from a guy who rated it 9 out of 10 on his first viewing.
Yeah, man. Because sometimes you gotta let him. That's why I'm a big.
You gotta watch it a couple times.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, Kobe says, I don't know